Hello, this is a kettlebell. These are gungru. In this video, I will show you how to use them, as well as how to utilize athleticism to better your singing. Welcome to Deconstructing the Voice. Oh, lady, lady, oh, lady, oh, lady. Singing is a physical process. And it makes sense that for any physical process, if you have the materials in their best condition, you can have optimal control over that process. In singing, our materials are our muscles and tissues. Therefore, I believe that knowledgeable strength and coordination training is highly valuable to any dedicated singer. And the serious vocalist should have as high an understanding and control of their anatomy as they can achieve, with a full awareness of their strengths and weaknesses. Let's review the basic parts of the vocal mechanism. There are three as I define them: the bellows, the source, and the bell. The bellows is all of the organs, tissues, and muscles which contribute to the air pressure and air flow, which goes through the rest of the vocal mechanism. For example, the diaphragm, the intercostal muscles, the lungs themselves, etc. This portion of the vocal mechanism requires dynamic strength control and balance. The second part, the source, is where the sound actually occurs. The major portion of the source would be the vocal cords. These are the tissues which close in on the air column and vibrate, which actually cause the sound to occur. This does not necessarily require as much strength, dynamic strength, as the bellows, but it does require some coordination. And finally, the bell. As I have defined it, the full larynx plus sinuses, and this portion of the voice requires a lot of coordination in order to find the appropriate space to get the desired resonance. Therefore, the full vocal mechanism requires dynamic strength control and a lot of coordination among a lot of muscles to get optimal control. How do we approach trying to achieve these various goals? The biggest obstacle to overcome, which I have found with the interaction of strength training and singing, is how to properly breathe while lifting heavy weight. Most trainers teach a glottal stop to stop the airflow and maintain the air pressure when doing an exerting movement like standing out of a squat. Singers must be able to maintain that air pressure without closing their larynx, because subglottal pressure can be very damaging to the vocal cords. In fact, Appelman, in his book, The Science of Vocal Pedagogy, says, "A man cannot lift a heavy object without laryngeal closure, and he can become quite hoarse in the prolonged performance of this act." Where I agree with the second part of the statement, I do not agree with the first. In fact, woodwind players and brass players have a method of stopping airflow called tonguing, which they have been doing forever. And the singer can use a modified version of tonguing to stop the airflow without actual laryngeal closure. For example, when I do my exerting exercises, I use an S to slow down the airflow, and then I go to a T to stop the airflow. So, and then when I am done with my exertion movement, I then go back to the S and let the air out, relieve the air pressure. So, and my larynx was never closed through that whole process. Let's discuss strength training. I have absolutely fallen in love with kettlebell because it is a dynamic weightlifting style which requires strength, balance, and coordination. I recommend it to all of my singing friends because I have not yet found a better strength training discipline which so closely resembles the physical exertion of singing. The kettlebell exercise, which I think is the best metaphor to singing an aria, is what is commonly referred to as a get up, or in the less culturally sensitive vernacular, a Turkish get up. This exercise requires suspending a weight above your head and starting from a position where you're lying on the floor and through various intricate movements arriving at a standing position and then reversing those movements and lying on the floor again. The exercise can be separated into discrete movements, much like an aria can be separated into distinct phrases, and it also requires slow, dynamic, strength control, and balance, just like while singing a larger aria, it requires very strong, dynamic breath control as well as balance. Coordination. Coordination and balance requires nerve development, which can be achieved through various methods and drills. One of my preferred coordination balance drills is a counter mobility drill called the dead bug. In this exercise, you move your right arm and left leg in opposition to each other and reverse it. You move your left arm and your right leg and bring them back. It drills both core strength and oppositional coordination. There are many other similar drills that you can do like this, which don't really require weight. It's more about coordination and being able to tell your body to do various things, much like patting your head and rubbing your stomach. There's drills all over the place. You can find them online. However, for a truly dedicated vocalist who wishes to push their physical coordination to their own personal limits, I would recommend taking a dance class. I myself studied the traditional Indian style of dancing called Odissi for a couple of years. So in Odissi, you have various hand formations which are given names. So this hand formation is called Pataka, and this kind of like a number 3 OK hand sign is called Hamsapakya, and this one is called Alapadma. So in the 7-step routine you see here, it's very difficult because you're going from a pataka in the left hand and a hansapakya over the head and then reversing it so that you have a turn down pataka in your right hand and a hamsapakya in your left. And that was very challenging. So you go from this to this, and you go from this to this. that's an example of something that was very challenging coordinationally for me for a while. One benefit of Indian style dancing in particular is that you get more you're forced to become more comfortable with irregular rhythmic groupings. So if you notice, all of the steps that I have demonstrated are each 7-beat patterns, and each one groups the beats in different ways. So the one with the warrior, where he's holding his shield above his head and chopping down the enemies, goes dot 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 dot. So 1 2 3 1 2 1 2, right? Then the second one is 2 2 2 1. So dot 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 ba dot 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 dot. Okay, and then the third one goes 1 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 1 2 3. So you get various feelings for lots of meters that change because there isn't necessarily a common time within Indian dance, and that really does help with operatic music, with classical music, where you might be having changing rhythms or very irregular rhythmic groupings. I hope you have found this video informative and, even better, helpful. As always, take what you think might be beneficial to you. You don't necessarily need to start Indian dance. I have just included what I have found to be very beneficial to my own singing development and ability. So, until next time, happy singing. Oh, and if you like, hit subscribe. So this is how you put on hummus.